Hey everybody, welcome back to Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mary.
The original Mary Bird. Hi, Mary Bird.
A little bird.
I wonder why I was thinking, Mary, it's called Mary Bird's Backyard Garden.
It is.
Maybe we should start it with, welcome to Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. I'm Mary and I'm Jeff. I don't know. We just kind of been doing it.
I think that's because you're the producer. And as the producer, you produce.
I'm kind of like Johnny Carson for all you older folks out there.
Johnny Carson.
We're going to take you way back to the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Late garden show.
There you go. Yeah, I'm the facilitator. Let's say that. I'm a facilitator.
That's true.
And you're the experticus. Cool.
Not true. Well, I'm the researchicus.
You're my expert. How's that?
Okay.
You'll take that one.
I'll take it.
Very good. Well, I know that...
you know what, honey? That greeting seems to be working for us.
I know it does.
I don't think we should change it.
No, I wasn't going to change it.
And I'm Mary.
It was just a thought.
I like that. It's kind of like the period at the end of the sentence. And I'm Mary.
I like it. In other words, taking charge. I like it. Well, I want you to take charge this next section when you tell us, Mary, what's new in the garden.
I have just been enjoying getting out there. Actually, I've been really enjoying just pulling weeds. I don't know why that is so satisfying.
It's not bad sometimes.
Really not bad. It's very relaxing.
I know.
You know, up front in our succulent garden that we talked about quite a bit and we put in and got it all established, we got very disheartened because the Bermuda sprouted right up.
I know.
Yeah. And we did talk about using Captain Jack's dead weed brew, which we sprayed. And we mentioned it doesn't seem like it was working.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? It was actually quite easy to pull up. There were very, very few that were tough. Mostly the roots came away quite easily. And so I'm trying a new system. And in future podcasts, I'm going to talk about Charles Dowding. Anyways, so we were spraying. We became discouraged. It didn't feel like anything was happening, but I'm trying a new system that I learned from Charles Dowding. He is pretty famous for his system of growing vegetables in England. And in future podcasts, I think I'll be talking about him quite a bit more. But what he does is his system is you don't turn over your ground. What you do is I don't want to make that Bermuda grass angry. So I don't want to go too far under the soil that's going to cause it to sprout heaps and heaps of more sprouts.
Can Bermuda grass get angry?
It can get very angry.
I've never heard that before.
Livid.
I kind of like that analogy.
But anyway,
angry.
What I want to do is continually whack it right at the surface, or maybe just a hint under the soil by pushing away the mulch or compost. He uses compost, but we're probably going to use hardwood mulch and just whacking it off right there by the surface so that it's going to have to use lots of energy to keep regrowing the leaves, and eventually it'll weaken and weaken over time.
Okay.
And then what you do is you just pile on more hardwood mulch. And I've noticed around our neighborhood, the landscapers use a very deep amount of mulch around a lot of different things. And so I talked to you yesterday, I believe it was, we might have to invest in more mulch.
You did.
Because honestly, we put down 4 bags, didn't we?
Yeah, we didn't. It was like 4. Yeah,
4 bags.
Something like that.
It's already degraded to where you could see the soil through. And so that's what happens. You know, you just have to continually resupply the organic matter.
We can do that.
We can do that.
We don't want angry grass.
We do not want our Bermuda to get angry with us.
We don't have like a picture in my mind with you.
That is what I feel like that's what it does. It gets its little weeding fork and goes, I'm going to get you.
I know. That's funny.
And anyways, that is what's new in the garden this week. And yeah, it's been very satisfying. I actually got out there in the succulent garden and was able to pull, I'm going to say, 3/4 of the garden.
Yeah.
In a short amount of time. It really was not that hard.
You did good. Plus, it's not 110, so that's kind of nice.
It's so nice out there.
I like it.
Basking in the sunlight.
I enjoyed watching you pull the weeds.
I loved it.
Me and the puppies did.
The other thing that surprises me continually in the fall, maybe it's just because I'm not. I don't know what it is, but the fall continuously surprises me at how much growth everything puts on here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It must be that the plants go dormant in the heat and then spring back to life in the cooler weather, because we're talking inches of growth on most plants.
I like
as well.
Very
I'm
good.
with you there. But that's all I have for what's new this week.
The only thing I have is we have a rogue squirrel. We have one squirrel that's driving the dogs crazy now.
Oh no.
So he's decided that he likes our little garden. And there's a tree on the side of our house. That is a tall tree.
It is a tall tree. True.
And so I heard him yell, scream. They do. Our dogs scream, bark. They're not normal.
Well, we talked about the pecans shedding the nuts around this time of year. And so the acorns are probably plentiful under the live oak right now.
That squirrel's getting us. Well, he's getting the dogs.
Yes.
That's one that now they're just, every time they go out now, they're just going to look for him. But it's just one. It's a rogue squirrel. I'm going to call him the rogue squirrel. Yeah. So we got him. That's our newest neighbor. You
know what's pretty interesting is he visits us in the afternoon.
He does.
I always look for him like at night.
No, he likes it. Yes, during the day.
Interesting.
During the day.
Why is that?
He's teasing the dogs. He knows what's going on. They can't catch him. He's up in the tree.
They can't catch him.
And they just go crazy, and he just sits and looks at him.
No.
So now we got a squirrel. That's all I had.
That's your new news in the garden.
Oh man, the scream barking our dogs do is mind numbing. It literally is mind numbing. All right. Well, Mary,
a squirrel bark.
I know it's a squirrel. Yeah, it's a bird and squirrel bark.
Oh no.
Well, let's get to the topic of the day. What do you have for us?
It was so nice. We had a very nice visit with one of our sons, and we were chit-chatting back and forth, and you went, "Oh, is that a new tattoo?"
Mm-hmm.
And our son had gotten a new tattoo that is in memory of his grandmother. And what he did was he incorporated her birth flower, the flower that's for her month.
For birth month,
yeah. Which is the daffodil.
Mm-hmm.
And so that inspired this week's podcast. And you know that that thing that happens, let's say you buy a new car, and then suddenly you see that car everywhere. Well, that kind of happened this week with the daffodils, because right now is the perfect time here in Central Texas to get your daffodils in the ground. And so I suddenly began to see on Facebook, on Instagram.
Everywhere you look, it's a daffodil.
Everywhere I looked, they were talking daffodils. And it's really cool because it is a bulb that is able to naturalize here in Central Texas.
Oh, wow.
Which means you can plant it and it will be there forever Basically, you don't have to keep, it'll multiply.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty cool. You don't have to put it in the refrigerator.
Yay.
Like you do for a tulip or a hyacinth.
Okay, I like that.
It's a good bulb. Yay. Let's find out about the daffodil.
Hey, Mary, take us into the world of the daffodil.
Of the daffodil.
Okay.
So the name of the daffodil is actually very interesting. The botanical name for the daffodil is the narcissus.
Mm.
Yeah. It comes, it's mentioned in Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And in that story, they're telling of a very handsome young man, and he was trapped into falling in love with his own reflection in a pool of water. And he couldn't look away. He was so engrossed by that reflection, And so the daffodil, where he was perched on the edge of the pool leaning in, the narcissus flower sprang into being. And it was so fragrant, and it enticed people with its fragrance. And then the daffodil will lean its flower and look into the water, thereby
interesting.
Narcissus. And so that's the botanical name, right? But the term daffodil has an interesting little path to how we know it today. In the Greek, there is the word asphodelis, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. And it's actually a different flower. Yeah. In the Greek mythology, it is the flower that's growing in the Elysian fields.
Ooh.
It's an immortal flower. And so from the Greek, it comes into the medieval Latin as daffodils. And so then finally, we get the D in front, probably from the Dutch, likely. And what it means is the daffodil. And so it is the daffodil today.
Okay.
Commonly referred to it.
It's the daffodil.
Right? But the botanical name is the narcissus. And so as you travel through time, Pliny the Elder wrote about the narcissus in his tomes, right? And so he passed away in 79 AD, so he was a first century writer. And his description of the narcissus is that it comes to us from the Greek word narcos. Narcos or narco.
Mm-hmm.
It is spelled Narkao. And so the meaning of that word is I grow numb. So today in medicine, we have narcotics,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so it
Interesting.
derives from that root word in the Greek. And so he talks a lot about the sweet fragrance of the daffodil flower. But what he's actually also referring to is the fact that the entire plant is toxic and poisonous. So definitely something to keep in mind.
Interesting.
Yeah. The daffodil really originates from the Iberian Peninsula, and we're talking Spain and Portugal there, and also in North Africa. And the majority of the original species came to us from the Iberian Peninsula, growing wild, and that is supposed to have the most botanical diversity in this.
Really?
Yeah. So as we look at the way that it sort of went around the world, we're going to take a little stop and see that it went into China. It went into China from 960 to 1270 AD. somewhere in that time. And some people think it might have traveled along the trading routes. One reference said that it was a gift that traveled from Italy into China.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so it came in through the southeastern coast. That's why they think it's probably along the trade routes or whatever. And they incorporate it into their culture as a very lucky flower.
It's a lucky one.
Chinese New Year.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
If you could find a daffodil and gift it during the Chinese New Year, it's very lucky for both of you, I would think.
That's cool.
Yeah. Before reaching China, you can trace the spread of the daffodil all the way through the Roman occupation. What would you say? The Roman conquering?
The Roman Empire.
The Roman Empire. You can. So what the Romans liked to do is that as they traveled on their way up to the northern climates and so forth, like into Britain and everything like that, they would plant the daffodil in memory of their loved ones. And they also planted them with their fellow soldiers or people that were in their band moving across the world if they passed away, either in battle or perhaps illness, things like that. And they planted clumps of daffodils along the way. And they gathered them from the Iberian Peninsula. They've been able to sort of trace it back that way a little bit to see those specific varieties, which is kind of cool.
That's really cool. I
in
like
memory of their loved ones.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. And then, knowing that the Romans were in Britain during that time, they are responsible for bringing the daffodil to Britain, where it has become an exceptionally popular flower, as we'll see a little bit later on. And today they are worldwide. Yeah,
oh yeah,
they're
absolutely.
grown they grow naturally worldwide as well, and beautiful spring. Flower.
Because they're really pretty looking.
They're really
nice yeller. I like nice yeller ones.
Do. So some of the things about the daffodil are that they symbolize new beginnings because they are a very early flower, and they symbolize hope, hope and rebirth for spring after the long winter.
Now is that, let's see, so they bloom early? They're early bloomers?
Very early in the spring.
Okay. I like that.
I do think that a hyacinth might be a little earlier. And then maybe the daffodils are after that.
Okay.
Yeah. They represent joy and luck. The Chinese New Year, also prosperity. And in Victorian times, if you gifted daffodils to someone, it means that you held them in admiration and respect.
Oh.
Yes. The trumpet shape of the daffodil is equated with happiness. And the daffodil is an interesting flower because it does have the trumpet, but behind the trumpet it has 6 petals, and they represent harmony because of their distribution around the trumpet.
Man, people come up with some pretty cool stuff on. They interpret these things.
Interpret it.
Somebody sat down and said, "You know what? Let's say no." It's pretty interesting, actually.
Over time,
yeah, it is over time.
Of folklore,
yeah, interesting stuff.
But I was going to reserve some of our discussion for part 2 a little later in the podcast. I was going to give our listeners a bit of a break with a Chef's Corner.
Hold on, Mary. Well, I was trying to stick with your daffodil theme, and there are some poems out there. I'm a poem guy.
You're
I'm
a poem guy.
There are some poems out there. There's a couple pretty famous ones. One is by A. Milne, and it's called Daffodil, all one word, Daffodil. And it's a very short one. I'd like to recite this for you now, Mary.
I would love this.
It'd be good, like if we're like in a coffee shop, where they have those poem reading things.
What were they called? The poetry reading?
Poetry slams or something.
Poetry slam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, this one was by A. Milne. So.
A. Milne was the author of a very famous story.
What story is that? Because I do know the name. Is it okay? I don't want to sound stupid, so I'm not going to say it. You get to tell me, and I'll tell you if I was right or not.
A. Milne, Alan Alexander Milne.
Okay.
Wrote one of our favorite children's stories.
Yes.
Winnie.
I was going to say Winnie the Pooh.
That's right.
I didn't want to sound ridiculous.
Winnie the Pooh.
Okay. Very cool. Well, also wrote a poem called Daffodil. And Mary, let me recite this for you. She wore her yellow sunbonnet. She wore her greenest gown. She turned to the south wind and curtsied up and down. She turned to the sunlight and shook her yellow head and whispered to her neighbor, "Winter is dead."
I love it. I just love it. Isn't that cheerful?
That's a good one. I like that one. The other one, which is a bit longer, but it's a very famous one by William Wordsworth. It's actually, I think, one of his most famous poems, to be honest with you. It's called "I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud." And it is by far one of his most popular ones.
Beautiful poem.
Yeah. I could read it. Sonnet for you.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Go for it.
Is it a sonnet?
I don't know if it's a sonnet. A sonnet has specific rules. I don't know. We'd have to look it up.
Well, here you go. For all you folks there, sit back, relax for 35 seconds.
I love it.
I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. I love the words they use.
I love it.
The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth that show to me had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. That's a good one.
I love that, right?
That's a very famous poem by William Wordsworth. I want to say Wordsmith.
You.
Wordsworth. William Wordsworth. I'm sorry, William, out there. No, he's gone a while.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Yeah. That was a fun one.
I love that.
That was a very fun one. I did want to say one thing. You said that people present daffodils, for they give them to people, but
they used to call it the language of flowers.
Yeah,
they would send messages that way.
So
no,
there is an old little thing that says you should always present them in a bunch. Because when they're presented to someone as a bunch, it's meant to provide happiness. What do you think? I
didn't. Daffodils?
Daffodil.
Oh, it's meant to provide happiness.
And it says if they're only given as a single flower, it's meant to mean misfortune.
Oh, my goodness.
So do not give single daffodil flowers, anyone.
I'm staying away from those.
Bunch them up when you give them.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm bunching.
And that's all I had for Jeff's Corner.
Had no idea.
There's a poetry note, a poetry slam today.
I love that.
I know, it's getting to be fall. You can just kind of see, get the fire going.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna get cozy with a coffee or whatever, tea or coffee.
So good.
And read some poetry. There's some cool poetry out there.
Poetry. I love it.
And there's a lot of poetry around gardening, believe it or not.
Well, absolutely, because it does inspire people.
It does inspire. It does inspire.
Plus, we talked about Robert Frost. And we talked about his poem Apples, which I did go back and listen to. And I loved every second of it. If you have not taken the opportunity to go out there and listen to him read his poetry.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have to listen to it. There's a million people reading it. You have to find it where he himself is reading it. It's got so much more meaning. But yeah. And
you can feel that the people that are working the ground, their hands are getting dirty. They're tired, but they're so fulfilled.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think gardening and the plant kingdom offers a lot in that way,
and
a lot of creativity.
And you've been giving us a lot of history. I mean, there's tremendous history on plants and, fruit, vegetables, all those things. It's just crazy. And it's crazy how, how they've moved.
Yes.
From continent to continent.
Yes.
How they've gotten ingrained in society and people's thoughts of. I mean, let's just say the daffodil.
Thoughts change.
Why would only giving one daffodil mean misfortune?
I don't know.
I don't know who came up with that and what's it even mean?
I don't know.
Right? I mean, it's kind of crazy, but.
So it is interesting. I did not go down this trail, but according to Pliny the Elder, there is a species of daffodil that you should not sit in an enclosed room with, that the fragrance imparts a toxic effect.
Oh, okay.
But I have no idea what species that
is.
That's
interesting.
Perhaps that's what it came from. I don't know.
I don't know. The stories are all interesting to me. The whole things, the way they name them, the way they use them.
Yes.
I mean, who was the first people to decide they're going to do something, with them? And it's just,
I know, right?
It's fun to listen to.
And how it pervades still today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I had. I'm going to kick it. We're kicking it back. This is my Johnny Carson moment. Let's kick it back to you, Mary.
Boom.
I get Ed McMahon. Yeah.
So it's interesting. The daffodil was grown in gardens. We have records of it being grown in gardens in different countries. I'm not talking about just one country. In the 1600s and the 1700s, it was mentioned. But it wasn't actually like cultivated or showcased, I guess you might say, until the 1800s. And so there's a gentleman, his name was the Reverend George Herbert Englehart. And he began to do that. And he recorded 720 new varieties from 1882 until 1923.
Okay.
And really, if you stop and think about some of the plants that we've talked about, that's recent.
Yeah, it is.
And we're
talking
about the Romans planting the daffodils along their way.
Yep.
And so spreading the daffodils. But I guess they were not seen as special or unique or something like that until this gentleman decided that he was going to highlight them. So he came along and he recorded 720 new varieties.
Okay.
That's pretty fast, I think. And what's interesting? Today, you could still find one of the varieties that he recorded back then. It's called the Narcissus poeticus. And it's poetry, poeticus. And I thought that went along with our poem.
It did. Very good. Yeah, good. Ding. Way to go.
And still today, it is offered for sale. Yeah. It may not be a good fit for us here in Central Texas because I think it likes a colder climate than what we have to offer. But yeah, you can still find it out there.
I like it.
Actually, I did find reference to 30 of his original varieties still being on offer today. And I was going to look and see if I could find some other varieties later. But the Royal Horticultural Society
our friends over in the UK. Okay.
Yes. In 1910, they had listed 2,500 daffodil named varieties.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Today, we have between 50 and 200 species of daffodil, according to Penn State University. And we also have 32,000 registered cultivars.
Wow.
And of these cultivars, we can find probably 3,200 different varieties commercially available for us.
Wow.
That's pretty interesting, right?
It is interesting because you look at them, I know there's quirks to them all, but
absolutely,
they just look like daffodils.
There are differences. There are. So one of the things I wanted to say right in this little section is that UK, remember we talked about the Romans and how they traveled into Britain. Well, UK is actually the largest producer of bulbs. They produce over 60% of the availability of bulbs.
Okay.
And the Netherlands and Italy are in there as well. Yeah.
That's
find that very interesting.
The Italy was interesting. You don't generally think of them as a flower exporters, more other things.
Right.
Okay.
The Royal Horticultural Society held the first Daffodil and Tulip Conference in 1884. We're going back to the Reverend probably again. And in 1908, they developed the first classification list. And you were just saying how they all look alike. You would just describe it as a daffodil. But they do divide it up because, they have shows and they want to enter a specific area. And so in 1954, the American Daffodil Society began. And so between the Royal Horticultural Society and the American Daffodil Society, they've developed the class system that they're using today with 13 divisions of the flowers. And it might have to do with the flower shape. It has to do with the size of the trumpet and the different way they call it. How many flowers there are on a stem. And of course, the botanical name has a lot to do with it. If it's a wild species, if it's a cultivated species, if it's a hybrid, right? And so those are some of the different reasons why they might fall into a specific classification.
Okay.
The color of the daffodil is generally yellow. There's a predominance of yellow, but you could also find it in white, pink, maybe a salmon.
Strange. It wouldn't seem like it was a daffodil if it wasn't yellow.
Well, the colorations are quite striking if you go out there and look at the variety.
Oh, no, I'm sure they're very pretty, but just when you think daffodil, you think yellow.
You think yellow, right?
I mean, isn't that even like a crayon daffodil yellow or something? I don't know.
Probably. I would say yes. I would say that is a true color. Even among the yellows, there are different classifications. as we'll see a little bit later. So the flowers of a daffodil are very unique. Usually when you talk about a flower, you're going to talk about 4 characteristics. You'll talk about the stamen, you'll talk about the pistils and the sepals, and you'll probably talk about the petals. But what makes the daffodil unique is the central corona. If it's large, we would describe it as a trumpet. And if it's small, you describe it as a cup.
Okay.
And so they have 5 unique features, and that makes it a different, interesting way to discuss it.
I bet there's experts that could look at them and go, that's that.
Oh, you bet there are.
There are. That's funny.
And it is pretty, I don't want to say unique to the daffodil, but it is a characteristic of the daffodil to have the 6 petals in the back, which is called the perianth, around the back of the trumpet. And remember, that means harmony. We learned that earlier. So when we go out and we're going to buy a daffodil bulb, for the growers to grow that bulb from seed, it's a long investment. It could take up to 5 years.
Oh, man.
Before it will bloom.
Wow.
So probably I would think that they grow the bulbs not from seed. They probably do it from multipliers. That's what I would think.
So,
I don't know.
I would think so.
But 5 years is a long investment if you want to get a new variety.
Okay.
If you're trying to cross
a
daffodil, see if you can get something new. But here's another fact that I found super interesting. There are recorded daffodil groupings or clumps that have lived in excess of 100 years.
Wow.
Or, which is quite astonishing. They're a very long-lived.
That's pretty cool.
Plant.
I like that.
Well, so if you're going to grow them, we're going to talk about how you're going to grow them. But if you're going to grow them, they're going to be there a while.
You're going to be a daffodil person.
You're going to be a daffodil person.
They are pretty, though. That's cool.
They are really a great fit here in Central Texas. So I was so excited to hear that. And the reason that this podcast is so timely is that we're talking about planting time now through December.
Okay.
You can get the daffodil bulbs in, and you want to choose a firm bulb. You don't want to have like bruising or discoloration. You don't want to have cuts or nicks or anything like that. And you do not want mushiness, so you need to squeeze your bulbs. And generally, for the variety I'm thinking of planting, you want to put it about 6 inches deep. So the bulb, some of the packaging will say plant the bulb 3 times the depth of the bulb. And in my mind, that equals about 6 inches.
There you are.
I think so. And make sure that you put them where you're not going to disturb them for a long time, So here, a lot of people think that they will plant them in their lawn and they'll get the flower and then they'll just mow it down. You don't want to do that.
Okay.
Wherever the site is.
That was directed to me, I think, Mary.
Probably.
I'm a mower. I'm a very radical mower. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's a park that we like to go to over towards Lago Vista. And I've enjoyed their blooms before, and they do have them planted in the lawn. The problem is, just like with the weeds that we're going to be cutting off at the base, and they're going to use all their energy to regrow the green structure, well, you're going to use all the energy from your daffodils, and they won't last over time.
Okay.
So wherever you're going to plant them, what you want to do is They're going to bloom. You're going to enjoy them in the spring. And then you're going to let the leaves grow until they yellow and they fall over. Then you cut them back.
Oh, okay.
And generally in our area, like in our little garden, they'd be covered over by some other plant.
Right.
So they won't be ugly. And you could let them get that sunlight and create the energy and store it in the bulb for next year.
Okay.
You know, they love a very rich, humusy, well composted soil. So actually, if you want to build up your bed, put it on top of your soil and plant them a little bit elevated from the rest of the surrounding area and leave them alone, they will love it. And they like to add more good compost every year. They like a nice rich soil. And so they're going to go dormant in the hot weather. You don't need to worry about it because they've stored their energy for next year. And yes, you'll have a beautiful grouping.
Nice. They are pretty. They're really pretty flowers.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
They like full. You're going to really look at the variety. They're going to go for full sun. And some of them describe part shade, but they do need that sunlight to generate the energy for next year. And when they bloom in the early spring, we're not talking about the harsh sunlight of summer either. It's going to be a milder sunlight. So if you could kind of finagle them a little bit more into the sun, 8+ hours, that'll be really good for you. You know, they're going to multiply over time. And I found a lot of different recommendations for how close to put your bulbs. Some people went as close as 3 inches, and other people went as far apart as 6 inches. Now, it depends on your decision about when you want to divide the bulbs. And so you're going to plant them in groupings of 5 or more at a time and decide how long you want to go between uprooting them and dividing them.
Okay.
The interesting thing, a lot of people use the daffodil as a repelling sort of plant. A large, abundantly growing grouping of daffodils will repel deer. It'll repel other digging and munching animals like gophers, moles,
squirrels,
voles, or mice. A squirrel probably won't.
Yeah, that would just miss. I had to throw that
have anything to do with it.
Don't care about it. I had to throw that in, Mary.
A squirrel. But it's super important to keep it away from any sort of pet or livestock. And so you want to be mindful of that.
Okay.
So I was looking around, and Neil Sperry is one of my favorite guys. And he has 2 recommendations for our area for naturalizing. The first one is a variety called Carlton. And the second one is a variety called Ice Follies.
Oh.
Ice Follies. Well, I went out there. I didn't tell Jeff this yet, but I'm telling you now.
Okay.
Sorry, honey.
You've ordered bulbs.
I ordered some bulbs.
Did you? That's so funny.
So, interestingly enough, there is a 125-year-old bulb company located in the U.S. Called Brent and Becky's Bulbs.
Okay.
And Neil Sperry, it was one of his recommendations. So I looked on their website and I found Carlton. And you are going to be super happy because it is a yellow daffodil, a beautiful, strong yellow daffodil. And Brent and Becky's describe it as being two-toned. It has a beautiful vanilla fragrance. It's an early spring bloomer, and it does love full sun. And this one was registered in 1927.
Wow.
So it is an older variety. Yeah. It has a very large coronet, but it was called large cupped. which means it falls, I can't remember which division it falls into. It's like something YY, I think. Anyways, it could grow between 14 and 18 inches tall.
Oh, wow, they get tall. Okay.
And it is a beautiful Texas naturalizer.
And we have some coming our way. Is that where? Okay.
Yes, we do.
I like it.
I looked on Neil Sperry's blog site, and it was gorgeous.
Okay.
He talks about how many years he has grown it, and it's just stunning.
Nice.
I'm so excited about it. And that is my discussion of the daffodil. I think they should be very easy to grow in Texas. And I decided to really focus on naturalizing them. Daffodils can be grown in containers because in the wintertime, we love to grow something called paper whites inside, right? And they're a form of daffodil.
Okay.
They're good to grow in the house. And then also I ran into jonquils, and they are also a form of daffodil, which I want to do some more research on because I understand they're better suited for our warmer zones.
Jonquils.
A jonquil.
Okay. Nice.
And the last little note is I did not find the ice folly in stock at Brent and Becky. So
well, we have
you were
some,
saved by the bell.
We have some of the others coming. Well, I got a couple questions for you, Mary, on the daffodil.
Oh,
do you know what country has them as the national flower?
Oh, isn't that funny? Okay, so I do know that Spain and Portugal have the most varieties. I'm going to go for Portugal.
You are wrong, Mary.
Wrong.
It is Wales.
Wales.
And it is the daffodils have become a national emblem of Wales alongside the leek.
Oh, the leek.
Yay, they made it they made it there. And they're traditionally worn on St. David's Day. And that's generally when they start to appear.
I love that.
I know, that's pretty cool. Here's another little daffodil tip for you. Little whatever it is.
Give me a nugget.
They used to be used to celebrate 10th anniversaries along with tin. They were traditional gifts to...
Oh, that's great.
But, we couldn't just do that. That was just too easy to have daffodils in tin. We had to change that. So now it's the more modern choice is diamond jewelry instead of tin. I think the daffodils might still be in there. But tin got replaced by diamonds.
Tin was replaced.
Isn't that I think that's kind of funny.
Interesting, right?
I think you said they can bloom for decades.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think you covered a lot of it.
They are very long-lived.
You got the rest. I just had to hit you with a couple little things there.
I'm surprised. Wales. And also the anniversary. Well, tin has kind of fallen out of favor. We don't really have tin toys very much anymore. We don't have, but to substitute in diamond jewelry, that's quite a leap.
What would I give you that would be tin that you would enjoy if we passed 10 years a long time ago, but if we were moving into 10 and I said, hey, Mary, here, I'm going to give you not just one daffodil. We can't do that. I'd give you a bunch of daffodils and something made out of tin.
I'm trying to given think. Me a tin of chocolates.
Oh, okay. See, I knew you'd come up with that.
A tin of sewing supplies.
I know. It's an interesting, tin is an interesting one. You're right.
Tin is pretty interesting.
You don't, we've moved up in class to diamonds.
We don't really have that as much.
No.
You could have given me a tin of peas.
Okay.
Because they used to have tin. They would call a canned good a tin.
Pretty darn exciting there. That'd be exciting.
I would go for the chocolates.
Yeah, I think you'd like the chocolate and a bunch of daffodils.
And a bunch of daffodils. I would love that.
Well, cool. The rest of it you covered. I was trying to follow. I was trying to be, funny here with my stuff. But
you are snappy.
I am pretty snappy.
I would like to ask you a question.
Okay.
So, as we were sitting down here, I happened upon a site that talks about, I didn't even mention this, but The narcissus is collected and distilled and used in perfumes around the world. And I was wondering if you knew some of the companies that were famous for their perfumes using narcissus.
Ooh, boy. Chanel.
Chanel does have one. Yes. Chanel number 19. It's described as it does a waltz with the iris.
Okay.
That number 19 is worth smelling in any formulation.
Oh, like it. Gosh, Burberry. Because they have berry in their name.
I did not see Burberry, but one of the most famous fragrances was by Yardley.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
Are they even still around? Yardley? That was an old 70s.
We bought Yardley forever. I don't know.
A long time ago.
That's interesting to look up, right?
Put some Yardley on.
Get Yardley.
That is interesting. Okay.
It was sort of a green floral with a humid floral fragrance.
Very cool.
And pretty. How do you have a humid fragrance? I don't know.
It's Yardley. They can do anything. Very cool.
You know, years and years ago, you bought me a perfume by Guerlain called Emeraude. One of my favorites. Well, Guerlain also produced Vol de Nuit. And it was a dark swirl of narcissus shimmers against woods and moss.
Only the best for you, Mary. I was going to put it in a packet in a tin for you, but I decided not to. That's good stuff.
Cute. Well, Jeffrey, this has been a very fun exploration.
It is. I like it.
Daffodil.
I like the daffodil. They got poems, they've got perfumes, and man.
And it's a good selection for Central Texas.
Can't beat that.
One little tidbit that I have to throw out for people is you do want to apply your beneficial nematodes to your daffodil bulbs and other things in your yard too. Here in Texas, we have the root knot nematode and we have another nematode. So it's good to put in those beneficials to combat the negatives.
All right. Them and the angry grass.
And the angry Bermuda.
We'll be fighting them all. All right.
I like that. The angry Bermuda.
Yeah, I do. I like that
It's not going to get me.
What else you got for us?
We've reached the end of my discussion of the daffodils. And if you're looking for what's next, Jeffy, can we go fishing?
Yeah, we're going to go fishing. We're going to take a day off and go fishing. I like that.
I like that too. But we'll be back with another episode of Mary Bird's Backyard Garden next week.
We absolutely will. And again, we appreciate you guys joining us here. And I don't know what to say. You know, if you like us, give us some likes and stars or whatever it is out there.
Whatever you can find.
We enjoyed doing the podcast. So
just don't send us one single daffodil.
No, don't send us a one daffy because we'll take offense to that.
We don't know what we'll do.
Yeah. But yeah, if that's all, Mary.
Happy gardening.
Hey, happy gardening, everyone. And we'll see you here at Mary Bird's Backyard Garden next week.